Am I on, Rachel?
Yes, you are.
Okay, I wasn't hearing a word Rachel was saying. So, all right, I apologize. Well, welcome everyone to our Granbury Chambers Leaders in Government Luncheon, and we appreciate your bearing with us as we went through a real luncheon and we went to a virtual luncheon, and the staff has really risen to the challenge here. And I want to thank everyone on the staff, but particularly Maureen and Rachel for all their efforts here this morning and over the weeks trying to get ready here. We have a great turnout, over 100 folks. I don't know the final count, but we're excited to have you on, and we're excited to have this opportunity. I think Rachel has already given you all the ground rules. Somehow or another, I missed that. But so as we move along, we just want to thank all our sponsors once again, and everyone that has been involved in this, and all our speakers. And some of them have gone to great lengths, as you will see. When we introduce our Congressman-elect Pfluger, who is in Washington, D.C., and he managed to get us a video, and then Glenn Rogers also did the same. So we're excited for all of that. But as we get started, please observe our national anthem with the Granbury High School a cappella choir.
What's so proudly
Thank you so much to the Granbury High School a cappella choir for that beautiful rendition of our national anthem. We realized so much through this process that technology is wonderful when it works, and then a challenge at best when it doesn't. So we're going to go over the ground rules just real quick because we got feedback that not everybody heard them from Rachel. We do have quite a few people on the call, so we want to make sure that everybody understands how it's going to run. I'll be the moderator of the event, and we'll be asking questions that have been sent in previously to us, but we also encourage all the attendees to utilize the chat box and send your questions in that you might have now. Something that one of our panelists might say might spark a question in your mind. So we really encourage you to take advantage of this opportunity to ask our elected officials some questions about our community. We also wanted to take a minute to recognize our sponsors for the event. Our platinum sponsor is First National Bank. Our venue sponsor is Lake Granbury Conference Center. And our table sponsors today are Axia Home Loans, City of Granbury, and Grand Development LLC. And we wanted to thank everybody for their continued support of our business community and for the Granbury Chamber of Commerce. Today we are also joined by First National Bank, who is our platinum sponsor for the event. So I'm going to go ahead and before each panelist, I'll read a short bio that they've submitted. And as we mentioned previously, we do have 2 videos from our elected officials that we'll share. So I will go ahead and start with the bio. for our U.S. Representative-elect August Pfluger. Colonel August Pfluger is a 20-year veteran of the U.S. Air Force, a decorated F-22 combat pilot, and now our U.S. Representative-elect for the 11th Congressional District of Texas. Prior to being elected, August served in the White House as a member of President Trump's National Security Council. A seventh-generation Texan, Pfluger holds 3 master's degrees, including an international business and policy degree from Georgetown University. And you're going to love this video because you're going to get to see exactly where Representative-elect August Pfluger is at delivering his message to us here in Hood County.
Good afternoon to the Granbury Chamber of Commerce, to the Leadership Luncheon. I'm August Pfluger, and I'd first off like to thank you for your support, your trust, and your confidence to represent you in Congress. I'm currently at the orientation for the 117th Congress. I'm learning a tremendous amount about what it means to represent, what it means to partner with you in each of the 29 counties. To Glenn Rogers, to Senator Birdwell, thank you for your service in representing Hood County, for what you have done and what you will do. To Mike Scott, thank you for your leadership, for your patriotism, for your service to this country and the military, and for what you've done for the chamber. One of the things that we're learning is how critical it is to have good, strong small businesses in each of our communities. You know, I'm going to have 43 colleagues that are freshmen from all over this country. It's a record for the Grand Old Party. It's a record for the Republican ideals of prosperity, of making sure that we have economic strength. And these folks from California to New Jersey and everywhere in between are committed to making sure that we can support our small businesses, because we know that that's the lifeblood of our communities. One of the things that this district does really well, the 11th Congressional District, is our energy. We are energy independent because of what the Permian Basin is doing. That's going to be a fight starting in January. It's already a fight. We can see that coming, and I'm going to stand up for our oil and gas industry because it is national security, and what we are doing in Texas, and specifically in our congressional district, matters. Agriculture, just as important. We've seen that during the pandemic. The ability to feed ourselves and be self-reliant, self-sufficient is critically important. And so I'd like to thank each and every one of you. I wish that we were in person together. Soon enough we will be. But thanks for what you do in your community. Thanks for what you do in Granbury and Hood County to continue to make it a special place. I love coming to Granbury. I love being a part of your community. Having gotten to know so many of you, I really appreciate what you've done, and I look forward to being a good partner with each and every one of you. God bless, Merry Christmas, and I look forward to seeing you soon.
Well, there I go, forgetting to turn the mute button off. We are very grateful for U.S. Representative-elect Pfluger's message. And we want to encourage folks, even though he's not here with us live today, if you do have a question for him, go ahead and drop that in the chat box, and we will make sure he gets that and follow up with a message for you as well, an answer to any of your questions. Next, we have Representative-elect Dr. Glenn Rogers, who also sent us in a video. I will go ahead and read his bio at this time. Dr. Glenn Rogers was recently elected our representative for Texas House District 60. He is a Palo Pinto County rancher and veterinarian with 4 children and 5 grandchildren. His wife, Mandy, is also a veterinarian. Glenn has successful careers as a rural practitioner, tenured university educator, and animal health consultant. And now, Dr. Glenn Rogers will serve as our Texas House District 60 representative. Here is Dr. Rogers' message.
Howdy, Granbury Chamber of Commerce. If I haven't yet met you, I'm Glenn Rogers, and I'm your newly elected state representative. I'm delighted to join you this morning, even though it's a recording. And I'm disappointed that I was unable to join you in person, or at least by Zoom. But I'm in Austin this week for freshman legislator orientation, which is somewhat ironic, being almost 65 years old and having had multiple careers, and suddenly I'm a freshman again. I'm your neighbor just to the north in Palo Pinto County. My wife Mandy and I, along with our 2 younger children, Ben and Leah, live on our ranch just south of Grayford on the Brazos River. From our ranch gate to the Hood County Courthouse takes me about an hour. And over the last year, I've spent a lot of time in Hood County. Most of my time was spent in Granbury, but I visited with and made friends out in Toller and Lipan as well. I very much enjoyed getting to know the people, business, and community leaders, and I look forward to meeting more of them. I mentioned that I've had multiple careers, and this week, with freshman orientation here in Austin, I'm glad to be launching my final new job. Rest assured, because of my age, you don't have to worry about term limits with me. I've been in small business most of my life, first as a veterinarian operating 2 general practices in Graham, then in Grayford. And from this experience, I learned to work with the general public 24/7. As small business owners, you understand these challenges and the demanding hours needed to be successful. I spent several years as a university educator in a teaching, research, and extension role, then served 12 years as a consultant in the animal health business. After that, I returned to private business, and I've been ranching full-time ever since. Now, ranching in our part of Texas might be the toughest small business venture around. You get everything thrown at you: drought, flood, regulations, disease, market volatility, employee shortages, and army worms. And that's just the beginning. Resiliency is probably the biggest lesson I've learned. The 87th legislature, which begins on January 12th, is going to be tough. I'll be honest, when I jumped into this race back in August of 2019, things looked much different. Texas had a robust economy. The oil patch was doing well. We had a predicted surplus of several $billions. And Corona, well, it was a cold drink you sipped on the beach. Fast forward to today, and Texas is looking at a 2021 shortfall of some $4 billion. The governor has already asked for a 5% across the budget decrease in all state agencies, and many agencies will be asked to cut more. My goal is to protect this district, and especially the gains we saw in education in the 86th legislative session. I want you to know that I'm doing my best to hit the ground running. Specifically for Granbury, I've already met several of the tech stop divisions, and I've had discussions about the much needed 377 expansion. I've met with the school district superintendents of Granbury and Lipan. I've had discussions with Judge Massengill, Mayor Hewlett, Sheriff Deeds, District Attorney Ryan Sinclair, David Orcutt with Granbury Medical, and many others. But the most emotional discussion that I've had thus far was meeting local officials and concerned citizens regarding the tragic death of Teresa Thomas. Along with many Hood County folks, I'm committed to finding better ways to address mental health issues before they escalate. Texas can do better, and I'm going to do my best to see to that. This is the largest community and county in my district. It has many diverse needs that will need to be addressed. This is why I've decided to keep my district office here in Granbury. I look forward to spending a lot more time here, meeting as many of you as possible, and I'm very excited to be able to represent all of you in Austin. Thank you for your time. Have a great meeting, and Merry Christmas to you and your families. May God bless Texas.
Well, that was a neat surprise there at the end. I had no idea that they were going to put that in there. So, and yes, we will congratulate our boss on that retirement. But again, we thank Representative-elect Dr. Glenn Rogers. And if you do have a question for him, drop it in the chat box. You can also email it to us at the chamber. We'll get those questions to him and then get back with you on an answer. So next up, we have Hood County Judge Ron Massengill. And I'll go ahead and read his bio before he joins us. Ron Massengill holds a BBA degree, magna cum laude, from the University of Dallas, and Juris Doctorate from SMU School of Law, Dallas. Prior to assuming office, Judge Massengill practiced law for 49 years, and was a partner with the law firm Brousseau, Naftis, and Massengill. Judge Massengill also served in the U.S. Army Reserves from 1970 to 1975, 24th JAG, and is currently a member of the Hood County Sheriff's Posse, along with his wife of 30 years, Brenda. Ron is a native Texan, and his extensive career as an attorney brings expertise to the position of county judge. Judge Massengill, we welcome you to today's annual Leaders in Government Luncheon. Thank you for joining us. Oh, we believe you're on mute, Judge.
Mute. How about that?
Perfect. Thank you for joining us, sir.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to be able to speak to all of you here in Hood County. I guess the big news here in Hood County, of course, is the COVID situation. As you know, there's been a spike, and we have at the hospital had over 15% for 7 days, but the good news is that the rate of occupancy in the hospital for COVID patients is dropping. And we have not received a letter yet from DSHS. And so we're hoping that it will not affect anything in our county. I can tell you this, is that your county judge and your commissioners, we are not in favor of closing any businesses, reducing anything. We want to say that everybody understands what COVID is and what precautions you should take for you and your family and what you should do to protect yourself and your neighbors. So we're going to all work together and get through this deal. So, but right now, everything is looking a lot better than it is across a lot of other parts of the country, and we're very fortunate. I also want to say something else, is that Hood County and the independent school districts, I'm talking about Tolar, Lipan, and Granbury. I'm so proud of the schools and the superintendents and the leaderships of those schools. Our schools started on time first of any schools in the state. And Granbury has stayed open every day. And for the most part, so has Tolar and Lipan. And that's because of the leadership of those schools and the parents and how everybody gets along and pulls together. And Dr. Glenn has stated this, that our emergency manager coordinator, Jerry Webster, he has so many connections. He has given so much sanitation supplies to all of our schools, keep our schools open and keep our students on an impersonal relationship at the schools. We have so many people here in Granbury whose children go in Granbury, Lipan, and Tolar Crescent that are nurses and doctors and first responders. And if their children are home, somebody has to take care of the children. Well, we keep those children in schools so we can keep all of our first responders and hospital staff working and helping everybody. So it's a very cohesive effect here, and we're going to all work together. I'm proud to say also that the county is working well with the city, and we are really going to strive to make sure that all of Hood County is going to stay vibrant and open for business and stay safe. So with that, I want to tell everybody, I will wish everybody a happy, Merry Christmas. Stay safe. We're going to start a new year. We have a bunch of newly elected officers coming in. We're going to really do well for Hood County. So thank y'all all very much. And if anybody needs any questions, you can call my office at any time. Thank y'all so much. And Mike Scott, you have been a big benefit to Hood County. We really appreciate all that you have done. And we're going to miss you in your retirement, and you and Susan in your Airstream we'll be envious of y'all. That's all I can tell you. Okay. Thank y'all very much.
Judge, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule, and we look forward to hearing your answers to some of our questions coming later as well.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. Okay, next up, we have City of Granbury Mayor Nin Hewlett. A resident of Granbury for over 20 years, Nin relocated with General Motors as a business manager and chose to make Granbury his home. Nin was elected to the Granbury City Council in 2011. He was chosen by fellow city members to serve as Mayor Pro Tem in November 2012 and assumed mayoral duties the following month. Nin was then elected as the mayor of Granbury in 2013 and continues his service. Nin is committed to maintaining an honest and open city government, and he values citizen input and encourages an engaged community. As a city resident myself, welcome, Mr. Mayor. Oh, I do believe you're on mute, sir.
Now I'm unmuted. Unmuted.
There you go.
Thank you, Maureen, and thank you, Rachel and Mike, for setting this all up. And I too want to thank or congratulate Mike on his retirement out there. So I don't want to miss out on that. As you know, I'm the mayor of Granbury and I've served a great community here. I want to start off by also wishing everyone a blessed and joyful holiday. I know that the going through 2020 here, it's not been an easy task. There's been several roadblocks, and it's not been a really good year for anybody around here. But I will tell you that Granbury has met the challenge. You know, if anything, we've learned how to go through a pandemic. We have learned how to work through these things and maintain our good sales tax. We have maintained that. Most businesses have stayed open, as not all of the businesses stayed open. They've probably not made as much money as they projected, but they have stayed open, and they're still in business, and the community is supporting them very well. So they've been able to provide that sales tax base for us so that the people of Granbury can enjoy the quality of life that they deserve, and we can put those tax dollars to work, and we haven't really had to alter our budget so much. I'm going to move into 2021, though. We've got a lot of projects that we have started in 2020, and they're continuing to go forward, and they haven't really been impacted. One of those projects is our Granbury Regional Airport. If you've not been out there and looked at what's going on up on the hill there, it's amazing. I've said several tours myself with that and went up there and watched all the Tonka toys moving around and moving all the dirt. So it's a great project. It is ahead of schedule right now, and it's 50% complete, and the weather permitting, it will be finished by late spring 2021. So I'm excited about that airport. We've talked a lot about what it's going to do and what it's going to do for the industries and stuff in Granbury, and I'm seeing it happen already. We're also excited about our new Granbury Police facility. This is a new building that will house the entire Granbury Police Department in that new site. The building will be a standalone 20,086 square foot building that will be located in the city-owned 44 acres lot located on the corner of Union Court and Loop 567. Some of you folks have probably drove by that and seen what's going on up there, but we're really excited about that. I've talked to the chief, and he's really excited about being on the ground floor and just being able to go out there and look at what's going to happen. And you know, our police department deserved this, and I'm really glad that we're putting that money in and making a top-notch facility for our Granbury Police Department to have this facility to operate out of. And also, we're going forward. We're still with our Parks Master Plan. Since the adoption of the master plan in 2020, the City of Granbury Parks Department has already begun working towards many of the recommendations that have included development of undeveloped park systems, renovating updated existing parks, replacing over 20-year-old playground structure, playground equipment, and also updating the parkland dedication ordinance. So that is very important to our community, and we want to make sure we continue to do that for the community here and make our parks, you know, what they even better than what they are now. We've been applauded many times about our parks and our trails and everything, and they are great. And as our state rep elect Glenn Rogers talked about, is the issue with 377. And I will tell you that myself, everybody that's involved, the council, all those folks, and our state rep, our state senator, and hopefully our U.S. Congressman Pfluger will be helping us every time we turn around to talk to people with TxDOT about the importance of getting started with the expansion of 377. So I'm already starting to receive more letters from citizens, and I am putting them in the right hands. I'm giving them to the people of TxDOT so that they know that we're serious about this and we want to get going. We don't want to, it's something that we need to really put our teeth into. Also, we're doing a lot of work with our wastewater and our water plants. The city has launched a phase 1 of the wastewater system improvement project to ensure that the Granbury wastewater system can meet the future wastewater treatment needs. As you know, we've run into a few hurdles there, but I feel confident that we're going to get through those. The phase 2 of the surface water treatment plant is going on right now, and the plant right now produces 2.5 million gallons of water per day, but at the end of this phase 2, they're going to double that capacity, so it's going to be 5.0. So that's going to be great to have there too. There's many more things going on. The new construction, the Saratoga, Harbor Lakes, a lot of the other buildings and stuff that's going on. There's a lot of that has started with in 2020, but it's going on in 2021. And here again, they're on board. They're building these housing and things for people out there. Street repairs, you're going to see a lot of that. We were kind of behind on it, but we've got the contractors out there now. You're going to see a lot of street repair going on, much needed street repairs, and we're going to continue to put the dollars out there that was allocated to put into our streets. And so we're looking forward to all the new projects that are already there, and also our tourism. It took a downfall, but Tammy and her team are out there. They're ready to open the door when Granbury opens back up. Hopefully this vaccine will help, and we will start to get back into business as normal. And I tell you, her team is ready to go. So with that said, I want to let everybody know I love Granbury. I love the citizens of Granbury, and you guys are doing a great job of coming together and being innovative and being creative about things to do through this pandemic. So God bless each and every one of you. God bless the state of Texas, and look forward to your questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mayor. We appreciate you being here, and we look forward to hearing your answers on the upcoming questions as well. And finally, we move on to City of Crescent Mayor Tina Conway. Tina Petit Conway is a native of Crescent, Texas, having gone to school for 2 years in the historic school that's now a museum. She is a Granbury High School graduate, as well as a Baylor University graduate. After marrying and raising her family in the Metroplex, she returned to her hometown to be closer to her family. Tina took office in May 2020 after having run unopposed for former longtime Mayor Bob Cornett, who retired. Her mission for running is to clean up Crescent and position this small town to attract quality businesses and loving families to her hometown. Mayor Conway, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Maureen, and thank you all for having this new mayor. I was just calculating, I think this is marks the 8th month that I've been in this role. And can you imagine what it's like to come back after 40 years and see this little town? I used to cross Highway 377 on my bicycle to get milk and bread for Mother and Daddy. And now that Highway 377 has changed quite a bit. So on everyone's radar is the relief route. And the latest there is that they've got the southbound bridge deck. It's in place and it's over State Highway 171 and the railroad. The northbound bridge beams are in place and preparations are underway to pour the bridge deck. You got to see it. Drive out there. It's kind of impressive. On the ground, of course, work continues on connecting the underpasses and the bridge embankments north of the railroad, and drainage stretchers throughout the project. There's no mention of delays right now, knock on wood, so we remain positive that they can stay on track and deliver that much needed relief route. Crescent does not want to be known for that darn railroad. We want to be known for being a really cute city that's growing and attracting the right families and the right businesses. So let's talk a little bit about the pandemic. You know, Crescent runs its city on sales tax only. And so we've kept a close eye on that, and it's done some fluctuating in the last 6 months, some ups and some downs. But the impact to the businesses, on the other hand, has not hit. It's gone quite the other direction as we've brought in the highly successful Dollar General. You go by it all the time on your way into Fort Worth. We've also brought Roosters into a new facility, larger, still serving that delicious barbecue. And then we brought back Barbecue on the Brazos into the Texaco location. So if you need anything to eat, or if you need anything for your holidays, you just hop on over. They'll make you something and get it to go. Of course, you can also go to Anthony's Orchards, which is where you can get gourmet pecans or your smoked ham or turkeys. This is the season to do it. They're open, they're ready to serve you. I happened to get the turkey there for Thanksgiving, and it was delicious. In addition to that, we've added an RV storage building sales site. And so that's where the old Subway used to be. And Randy and his team are doing a good job there with promoting their RVs. Now let's talk a little bit about the Crescent Volunteer Fire Department. Many of you know that, and it's headed up by Fire Chief Ron Becker, who happens to be also my Mayor Pro Tem. And I just lost my screen. Hang on just a sec. Our Mayor Pro Tem. And they provided a lovely series of events honoring our fallen firefighter, Diana Jones. As many of you know, she lost her life in service out in fighting fires in California. They've actually named their training center the Diana Jones Memorial Training Center, and that is located on Highway 377 right across from the Sonic. So they just did a very nice job. That hit the community hard. Also, the chief shared with me that now he has approximately 60 volunteers, with 29 of them being certified as EMS and paramedics. That makes a very strong team to help our surrounding counties and cities. Their calls are up by about 13% from 2019. So we continue to want to see them grow and keep their team in order. The plans for the proposed Bob Cornett Park, we had to put those on hold temporarily while we watch our budget, which is funded, like I said, by sales tax only. And so we will be taking up discussions again in January, seeing which direction we need to take that. And we hope very positive thoughts. And that also would be on Highway 377. And then as you're driving through town, just as you get close to Sonic, look to your right, and there's going to be our Christmas tree. And thanks to Mayor Nin and his teams, they donated that to us 2 years ago. We put them up, and we're going to put them up again this Sunday. So you might want to give us a shout out with a little honk. Also, speaking of 2021, we continue to push for a cleaner Crescent. Well, what does that mean? Well, that means I want all those junky cars gone, and I want this city to look awesome and attract lovely families. And we've made some headway, but we still have more work to do. We continue to partner with a program that takes abandoned cars and funnels those to veterans in need. It's called On the Road. And this process benefits many. I'd be happy to share more if anyone wants more details. But that's going to help get some of those cars out of yards and into the hands of the right people. We also have some developments. We have one development which is before you get to Crescent, if you're coming from Granbury. It's going to be on the right. It's going to bring over 100 homes in phase 1 on 2-acre lots. So those are going to be some nice, attractive homes where, you know, some folks that move out from the larger cities, we anticipate them wanting to take advantage of that. Another development closer to City Hall just came up. Can't give you much details about that yet, but that's going to be smaller homes. They will not be flat apartments such as the pods out on the Weatherford Highway, but yet consider them to be starter homes with garages and small yards. So that's exciting. And we look forward to bringing in those families and putting them in Dr. Glenn's school system in Granbury ISD. So we're excited. We still have work to do as a little city, but I'll tell you, this little city continues to grow. So keep looking for us on the map, do some shopping with us this holiday season. And thank you for having me, and happy holidays. And let me just do a shout out to Mike Scott, because in my short time getting to work with him. What a leader. What a neat person. Thank you, Mike, for all you've done. That's all.
Mayor Tina, thank you so much for that message. I think we're all making Mike Scott's day here. And let me tell you this, as somebody, you know, drives back and forth and all over our Hood County, I love stopping in that Dollar General. That's been a great addition up there. So great job on getting that in there. Okay, at this time, we are going to open up the floor for questions. And since we're doing this virtually and not in person, be sure to utilize your chat box, drop a question in there, and I will get it posted for our panelists to answer. And we've also had some questions submitted prior to the event, so I'll go ahead and start with those. Okay, the first question: how are local and regional governing leaders addressing future water availability and development resulting from the population growth observed in North Texas? So it sounds like a question on addressing future water availability and development resulting from population growth. So Mayor Hewlett, Mayor Conway, either of you, would you like to respond to that?
Well, I'll start out by, you know, I did address that in my introduction, and we talked about, you know, what's going on over there with the water plant right now. And we're already, you know, we have been sitting on water that has been allocated, or that we've had from the BRA for many, many years, that we haven't really used the amount of it, and we still won't be using the amount that we are allocated. But just what I talked about, you know, that plant that's right there coming into Granbury with the new, really nice looking water tower. And by the way, we did that so that we could show Granbury off. We don't want just an old water tower on there. And so we kind of dressed it up a little bit, and we're pretty proud of that. But we're going to go from, and we're getting real close to that. We're going to go from the 2.5 to the 5. And so we got plenty of water. We're going to have plenty of water to support the needs of the water. Our biggest issue is going to be, you know, like I always say, what goes in must come out, and we're going to have to work on getting a wastewater plant also. But the water needs are there, and as you see, the BRA did a great job. They've been doing a great job of managing the water that comes to Granbury, and so we still have a few wells that we use, but you know, we have plenty of water there, and I feel real confident we can support anything that comes to Granbury.
And I'll just add in Crescent, we had the redundancy of 2 different wells, and then the third well that we don't own, but we do all the billing for, that services the flat apartments or the pods in Crescent. We also have slated a new wastewater treatment plant. Those bids have been extended. We're just waiting on some paperwork to finalize that, and that would probably be in completion in the next year. So good things there for water, Maureen. Good question.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And I did want to note for those watching that our county judge did have to step off. He apologizes, but he did have something that he needed to attend to urgently. So we thank him for joining us earlier. Okay, we got a question in from the chat box. And that question asks, what is going to be done proactively at each level of government to make sure that future elections are not compromised? I am not saying Hood County elections were, but I do not have any faith in the voting process as a whole. I did prior to November 3rd, 2020. What can an individual do for upcoming elections on a volunteer basis to help ensure integrity?
I'll go ahead and just start off by saying, you know, this community, I'm really proud of the fact that so many people got out and voted this last election. And every year it's been more and more and more. And we've, and you know, it was pretty convenient here. The judge bailed out on us here, but you know, I'll give him some kudos. They hired the election administrator. I think they hired is top notch. As a matter of fact, I believe she is the, let me get the title right, but she heads up all the other election administrators, you know, within a big region. So we have one of the best right here in Granbury and in Hood County to put some to put programs together and to make sure that the voting process is done the way it should be done. So, I mean, the judge could talk on that a lot, but I really feel confident that we have a great team there, that we have a great process. And when I seen the way it worked to this last election, I really feel confident that Hood County's doing a great job with it.
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor Tina, would you like to add anything to that?
No, I'll just let Nan speak for us because actually it's Hood County that helps us and supports us in our elective process. I would concur with his comments.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, you know, the hotbed question, I know that we addressed it a little bit in the introductions, but we had a question come in with a little bit more detail. So yesterday, an order by Governor Abbott went into effect, lowering restaurant, retail, and other capacities to 50%. Obviously, we all want Hood County businesses to remain open, and we want our residents to keep their jobs. What can we do at the county and city levels to help support that?
Well, here again, I mean, and you know, me and the judge talked this morning about this very item here, and like he talked about, the DSNS, they have the DSHS. I'm sorry, they have we've reached out to them with Jay Webster and notified them on what we need to do because we are at that over 15% threshold here, and right now what we're waiting on them is to issue us the letter saying that we will go back to the 50% closing bars and that kind of stuff. But what we can do is continue to do the things that we're doing and probably step it up a notch or two, because you know the things that we're doing right now, they work. There's people all over the state. I had a meeting with the North Council of Mayors yesterday on a Zoom meeting, and they talked about that very thing. Matter of fact, they had they had medical experts talking about what is going to make this thing go away, and obviously the vaccine. But I will tell you that they've already done some research, and there's really not an amount of people that are still on board with this vaccine that is proven to be over 90%, where you know it works. But you got to have over 75%, and there's 44% that saying no, I'm not going to take that vaccine. So there's some work to be done there. But we have to look at what we're doing. We have to look at what, especially, and he talked really extensively about family gatherings. A lot of families are getting the COVID over just their own gatherings, not knowing that even though it's family there, the family may come from other parts of the state, other places. And so, you know, it's got me thinking about right now about my family. A lot of my family lives in Houston, and how are we going to do the holidays and still stay to where we feel safe and confident that we're not going to spread this virus and stuff. So there's a lot of things going on, but I would tell everybody to continue to wear your mask. That was a big thing yesterday when we talked. They emphasized to wear your mask, keep your distancing, and when this vaccine comes out, when it gets to where it's all through the community and stuff, take a hard look at what to do this. I know a lot of people don't take the flu vaccine because they don't think that it works, and some people take it and say, well, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But the flu vaccine is a lower percentage rate than the vaccine for the coronavirus. So you need to take a real strong look at that, because that's going to be a part of getting us back into normal business in the state of Texas. So I hope that the whole state will look at that and look at what it takes to continue so that we don't go through 2021 what we went through in 2020. And I don't think we will, because we've learned a lot from this, but hopefully people will take a look at everything that comes out to them and really do the right thing.
And I'll just add, you know, there's nobody that likes a good party more than me, and I'm canceling a big Christmas party that was scheduled for tomorrow. But I just couldn't in my right mind have 50 people and have all that activity with knowing that it's really our duty as citizens and friends and family to wear the mask, to take that seriously, to wash our hands, and to social distance, even in the grocery store line. Try your best not to take your whole family to these grocery stores and pharmacies. Just let one family member go. Utilize the automatic pickup that you can get at many of the stores that are offered right now. So I agree with Nin, we own part of the responsibility. And then I know the vaccine will be a big issue, whether or not to do it, but gosh, I know exactly what I'm going to do and what my family's going to do, because I want to position us to get out of this pandemic and get on a better footing, just as Nin mentioned.
Thank you, Mayor Conway. Thank you both. Okay, the next question that we had come in is traffic. We keep hearing from everybody about traffic on 377. Do we have any updates on congestion relief? We can probably hear from both of y'all on that one. Mayor Conway, would you like to start at all?
Well, we're I think right now my little portion of the county, we're not there yet, but we know that in the next year and a half or so we're going to have some relief. But thoroughfare planning is always a big thing for cities. And I know I listened to Nin and Chris Kaufman and you guys talk about your plans. I think I'd rather just default to Nin and hear kind of what they have in the Granbury area of 377.
Thank you, Tina. And we do have some bottlenecks, or we have some really critical areas that we're addressing more so than the overall construction of a widening 377, because that's going to be a big project. And honestly, when you sit down with TxDOT and you look at what they're doing all over the state and where the money's allocated and the different things that are going on, I even talked to somebody the other day. They said they came from somewhere up in the Metroplex there, past Fort Worth or whatever, and they said, "Man, you guys don't have a traffic problem." I said, "Don't say that out loud, because we do. During rush hour, during school, when school gets out or school starts, there's a problem. Well, I say there's a problem there. If you've lived here quite a while, it's growing, and that's the thing. You get folks that are come here from other states or other parts of Texas, and they don't readily identify that. But and that's what we try to do. We try to get some input from everybody, because TxDOT's doing the same thing. When they come out and they look at a traffic study and they look at the 377, and I don't know when they look at it, but they might look down the road and see 4 or 5 cars, because I've been there. I've seen on 377 very few cars on there, and I've seen it backed up. But how long is it backed up? And I'm not saying that we're not working on this, because as I said earlier in my introduction, we are going to be on TxDOT every chance we get to get on top of this and get ahead of it. I feel like right now Granbury is trying to be ahead of the curve here, because we are still able to get around in Granbury. And I tell people all the time, the local people need to start using those alternative routes that we know of, because the people that are using 377 are the first timers, or the tourist people, or people like that, so that we can open up the 377 for those people. And we do have those alternative routes. I've been guilty of not getting on some of those routes myself, but now I've been using them more and more, because all the vehicles we can get off of 377 kind of lightens up that. We were fortunate to get the blinking yellow lights. That has helped somewhat. And so that tells me there are other things we can do. We can do signage. We can do other little feeder roads. We can do possibly even more smart signs with that will get the traffic flowing. And that's our objective, is get the traffic flowing, especially during them rush hour times, so that we can get, from point A to point B and not take up, a lot of time doing that. But we're going to be working on that, and we're going to continue to work on that, and we're going to partner with many people to help us get on top of the 377 expansion and stuff. So that's where we're at with it.
Thank you both. Here's a question that just came in through the chat box, and I'm thinking probably off of this, the question we just last asked. What resources and or guidance does the city have for business owners located on Highway 377 that want to expand or improve their building? How does the potential 377 expansion affect those building plans?
Well, I know my city manager's out there listening, and he probably has a better grip on this than I would have, but I have asked that question a few times, or I've been asked that question a few times. There's several different ones. There's some of them that have already got built in what you'd call right-of-ways, to where if they wanted to expand, they could. There are those that are right on 377 that there's going to be an issue when we do come in and expand 377, just like what happened in, and I'm sure this is what they're comparing it to, is what happened in Benbrook. And there were several businesses that were right on that 377 corridor that had to either set back or, some of them had to go away. That's just some of the things that happen. I don't know that we have that many. We do have that one island there between, because we've got that Plaza Drive, and then you got the median there, and then you got 377. So that's going to be something that it really won't affect, because they would be able to expand. I would just say any business right now that is looking to do something like that, they need to bring it up right now and try to figure out what their options are, because we've got a master plan. We look at it all the time. There's some, and we can sit there and show them where their property lies and what they can and can't do at this point. And so it would make a lot of sense to go ahead and come to City Hall and talk to my city manager, Chris Coffin, and let them know what their plans are, so that there won't be no surprises there.
Thank you so much, Mayor. Okay, another development question we got in. What will be the county and city's development plans for 2021? Should we expect to see continued growth as the 9th fastest growing county in the nation? What are we expecting for development? Mayor Conway, would you like to start?
Sure. I know in this area, I just mentioned phase 1 of development, but when that entire development that I'm speaking of, that would be over 267 homes. So that, along with the help that we get even from Shay on industrial growth, I think when you don't have property taxes in your little city, that you are very attractive. We're also we are in compliance as Hood County for the Clean Air Coalition. We don't hear a lot about that because it's not a real fancy thing to talk about, but it is super important that we're in compliance to avoid additional costs to even, let's just say, even have your oil changed. So I just respect that group, and I encourage you to learn more about it if you don't already know what they do. But yeah, I think we're going to grow. I know that. That's why I'm working so hard in my staff and our council to, really clean up Crescent and make it more desirable, because we get questions all the time. Hey, can we come there to do this? Can we put this here? So yeah, I expect growth, and I'll turn it over to Nan, because I'm sure he does too. But yes, we do in this little city.
And you're exactly right, Tina. We're expecting growth, and I like to tell people right now, our stage is set for 2021. Our growth is going to be. I was out on a Zoom meeting this morning, and they predict our growth from 13 to or 16 to 30%, and they're exactly right. But our stage is set right now with the things that are going on right now. What concerns me is the growth that is going to be possibly 3 to 4 years down the road. And, we got to start looking at that. But the growth that we've got projected right now, some of the projects that we got coming, and I talked about in my introduction, the Saratoga out there, that's going to be an ongoing all through 2021. That's going to be, and some of the other things that we got going. You see the apartments up there on the hill where the restaurant used to be. And the other part of it is, when I talked about our airport, that is going to draw so much growth here. And that airport, when it gets finished, when it gets to, and there's already people wanting to come there and start their businesses stuff on that airport, that's going to be tremendous. That's going to be great. And it's going to be ongoing again too. So like I said, I think our, and we got to get the infrastructure. We know that. I talked to city manager a lot about that, but our infrastructure is set to accommodate what we already have in the plans for 2021 probably. But we've got to get some infrastructure for the long term, the growth down the road there, and we're going to start working. We've been working on that, and so we want to continue to do the things that we need to do. And one of them is making sure that we've got water and sewer for the expansion and all the growth that's coming to Granbury. And we have a plan. We have a plan for that, and I believe it's a good plan. Thank you.
Thank you both on that. It's interesting, and I'm just going to slight little chamber plug here, but we just got done writing and producing the 2021 area guide, and I kid you not, just about every single question we've gotten through this, through participants, is articles that we've written about, not only about Granbury, but really truly focusing on all of Hood County and the growth and the expansion. So if anybody wants to follow up, those will be available starting January 2021. And we are going to make sure that we get some of the Chamber's area guides out to all of Hood County, including Crescent, Tolar, and Lipan. So another great way to follow up with those questions. At this time, I do not think we have any more questions. That's all that we had submitted. I'll take one last call out there on the chat box to see if anybody would like to submit. But if not, we can go ahead. Oh, yep. I have Mr. Chris Kaufman said he'd like to go ahead and address the 377 question. And Rachel, can you go ahead and unmute our city manager, please? Chris, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. Just to follow up with what the mayor said, there's an engineering firm has been hired by TxDOT to study the 377 corridor from Pirate Drive all the way to the Fall Creek Highway. They've been having Zoom meetings with key components of stakeholders in the process. Our engineer, city staff, myself, the engineering team with Half Associates and TxDOT. We were scheduled for a meeting on November 17th, but they rescheduled that to February 17th, which put us behind about 4 months on what I thought we were getting real close to coming up with a set of plans that could be rolled out to the public in February, and instead they're going to be rolled out in April. And so it's pretty good change that you see coming. We're talking about separated intersections at a few locations. What I mean by that is there's overpasses. Like at Fall Creek Highway, there'll be an overpass over Fall Creek Highway, eliminate that traffic light, but you'll be able to exit and go and safely turn without having a collision. Other intersections are addressed in different ways. They're trying to minimize the right-of-way taking that needs to be done, obviously. But a key intersection is Highway 377 Business as you're coming into town, and you turn and you go by the water treatment plant and the plantation. I guess it's the Lakeview Inn Motel now. And so that whole interchange there will be improved and made modern with, there'll be an access road, but they have all the right-of-way basically for that area. I don't see them needing a lot of right-of-way along the roadways that everybody's concerned about, but where that right-of-way is needed, it hadn't already been acquired, there will be an acquisition process for that as well. The exciting part is they're doing doing it in phases. Phase 1 is going to be the intersection of 144 and 377. Ultimately, the design will be 2 lanes of traffic coming out of the northbound 144, have the opportunity to get onto 377 eastbound or northbound, however you want to look at it. And so that's going to help the flow of the traffic and stop that stacking. That it's not unusual to see it stacked up all the way to Stumpy's on a Sunday morning. So we do have our trials and periods of dysfunction. Sunday night, they're going to work on making that close one lane of that intersection there that I'm talking about at 144 and 377 on the northbound for 144 to do some repairs and install some delineators to keep people on the when they approach the exit ramp to get onto 377. We've had accidents where people are turning from the left lane to try to hit that ramp to hit 377. There's going to be delineators installed Sunday night to eliminate that, or they're gonna have to run over something to do that at that point. So that we hope that will eliminate some accidents, will allow the traffic to continue to flow. Additionally, there was a traffic study done on the lighting, the traffic lights, and TxDOT has agreed to implement that. They've been working on that for about 18 months, and we expect that to happen in the next 6 months. But that intersection has what you call a score or a grade of an F. And the lighting improvements will probably improve it to what you'd score a C instead of an A or a B. We would like an A, but those are hard to achieve. But for a patch until we get the project done, the lighting will make a huge improvement, light timing for that. And just like yesterday, I was on Morgan Street, 144 South, and I was backed up all the way to the Interbank, or what's the name of that bank that's right there by Comet Cleaners? It's not Interbank, but it's Independent Bank is the name of it. And literally set through the light at 51 and then churned through and set through the light 2 more times before I could get back onto 377 to head north. So there are what I call constipation problems on our traffic system, but I also want everybody to realize that as you see those roads congested, our sewer collection system is just as constipated as that. So pardon the pun, but that's what we're dealing with. We're just trying to keep the toilets flushing and keep the traffic moving as well. We have addressed the water system. We're really proud to have got that behind us. Be looking forward to that new concrete decorative fence as you pull down 377 towards the lake. It's going to really beautify that area and really set the tone for a really nice experience for tourists when they come to town. But those are some things going on with the highway project. Hopefully in April, we'll have some public hearings where TxDOT rolls out big long sheets of plans and lets public have comment again. I believe we've done this twice before and never got funded. So we're working very hard behind the scenes with our legislators and even a Zoom call this morning. We were with Senator Cornyn on a call, and he's aware of our growth and aware of what's going on. And so everybody's looking at it with us, and we feel pretty positive about this happening. Phase 1 that I'm talking about will probably be within the next 2 years. They are going to have to widen the bridge, and so it's going to be quite the construction project to widen the bridge and increase to make it 6 lanes of traffic all the way from Pirate Drive to almost Mike Brown Ford.
Fantastic. Thank you, Chris. I know that was an impromptu session, and we appreciate your willingness to jump on and provide some clarity for us. So we appreciate that. I just want to go ahead and thank everybody who submitted questions today, and thank you to our panelists as well. Another reminder is that the videos that were played, including the Granbury High School's national anthem, we're going to go ahead and send out those videos to all those who registered to participate, so you can enjoy that. And the choir actually has a full 45-minute concert for you to enjoy, so you can just have a taste of the greatness at our schools as well. I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to my boss, Mr. Mike Scott, so he can take us on out of here.
Thank you, Maureen, and thank you, Rachel. Wow, what a great program. What a great bunch of leaders we have in Granbury. I think we're blessed in Granbury and Hood County, and certainly our national leaders and our state leaders. It's exciting. I mean, August Pfluger is going to be doing a job for us in Congress, and and Glenn Rogers in Austin. And I think things are really looking great for Granbury. And I really appreciate everybody being involved today. I think this is a great way to just, and we need to do more of this. I'll tell my staff. I mean, I think getting our legislators and getting people on Zoom calls until we get out of this COVID thing is a great way to go. So I just want to thank everybody. I would be remiss. I think Diane Williams is still on the call. I would be remiss if we didn't, I thank you for all the shout outs to me, but I think we need to do a shout out to Congressman Mike Conaway too, who is also stepping down, but he's going to be living in Fort Worth. Pardon me. He'll be living in Fort Worth. He's going to be close by, but he's done a tremendous job for us. And I'm glad to see August Pfluger picking up the torch. And I'm excited to see what August does. So I guess I'll just wrap it up, and maybe I'm the only thing maybe standing between you and your mesquite pit lunch. I think it's interesting that we have 40 or 50 people on this call, but we had about 100 people pick up the lunch tab. So what's more important, talking or going to lunch? But anyway, I do want to thank Mesquite Pit, and I want to just once again thank all of our sponsors: First National Bank, Lake Granbury Conference Center, Axia Home Loans, the City of Granbury, and Grand Development LLC. So with that, we wish you all a Merry Christmas, and your chamber is here for you no matter what the question. Give us a call and we'll either answer it for you or we'll find someone who can. So thank you very much. God bless all of you and have a wonderful day. Thank you.